How you doing? What's your name? Where you from?
My name is Ashley Ravana. I'm from Alameda, California, born and raised in the Bay. Today we're gonna talk about my dad. He just turned 55. He was diagnosed with brain cancer. He had 3 tumors in his brain when I was about 13. I'm 35 now, so that was 22 years ago. For people that don't know, anytime that you have any kind of operations that have to do with your brain, there's always a chance that your cognitive and your motor skills are going to be compromised in some type of way. And if not immediately, like most, then over time, there's going to be some type of decline with your motor skills. So my dad was diagnosed when I was 13. He had surgery back to back. The first time they didn't take everything out. So the second day they immediately cut his brain open, took out the rest of the tumor they missed the day before. And then 10 years later, it came back. They did another surgery. They did chemo and radiation. 10 years later, it came back, which was just last year. This is just recently. Last year, it came back. We did about 6 months of chemo and radiation. Results came back. It was very, very tiny piece that didn't go away, but the chemo and the radiation zapped everything else out. We do MRIs every 2 months to see what the activity is. Every 2 months, the radiologist assistant calls me and tells me that everything's looking good, or she doesn't call me at all, and that's how I know that everything's good. Just this last time, about 4 months ago that he got his last MRI, there was activity. It was very dense. The small piece that didn't zap away started to grow. My dad probably has about 60% of his brain left. The right side has a gash in the front, and the left side, probably from about here to here, is missing. There's no brain there, but there's a small piece right there where the tumor started to grow back. So what they said after we talked to the radiologist, oncologist, neurologist, they referred us to the neurosurgeon. The neurosurgeon that we had refused to operate on my dad. He said that we needed to let the tumor grow and nature to take its course because they've done everything for my dad that they possibly could have. So then we went to another person who is a specialist at UCSF, San Francisco. She was a young Caucasian female that was willing to operate on my dad real fast. Not willing to let her do that. It would definitely have caused more damage to my dad. So one day I was walking around the lake, catching up with a friend. Mind you, I live in San Jose, so the fact that I'm walking the lake is a really big fluke because I don't come out to the bay and walk the lake, like, at all. I'm in San Jose now, so I'm walking the lake. There's a bunch of vendors around. Somebody is like, I'm having a conversation. Somebody's like, excuse me. It was CBD. I stopped. We started talking. He's talking about, I overheard your conversation, your dad, cancer. I immediately got defensive. Like, I'm a daddy's girl. My dad has done everything for me my entire life. No matter what he had to do, he did it. He made sure I had what I needed. So when CBG started asking me questions, I kind of tensed up a little bit and was just like, you know, if you're gonna talk about it, like, have some real shit to say to me, because this is life or death. You know, this is my father. So we talked after about a good 10 minutes, and I mean, the conversation was probably longer than that, because if you've ever talked to CBG, you know that it's not like a really quick conversation. Like, he has a lot of information to give you. He has his own story that he can share with you, and it's relatable. Fast forward, he gave me his product in 3 jars. My dad had an MRI checkup scheduled for 1 month from when I met CBG, and he gave me the jars. He told me to have my dad take 1 tablespoon every day. I took the honey to my dad, who lives with my about 80-year-old grandfather. I told my grandfather to have my dad take a tablespoon of this honey that CBG gave me every day until we went to go get our next MRI. My grandfather laughed at me. He's like, what are we gonna do with the honey? You know what I'm saying? Like, put it over some Cheerios or whatever? I was like, I don't care what you put it over. Tea, toast, raw, whatever. Just make sure he gets it. What do we have to lose? Because at this point, my dad has been battling cancer for 22 years and has decided he doesn't want them to cut into his head anymore. He doesn't want to swallow pills. He doesn't want to lose his hair. He doesn't want to piss and shit on himself. He just wants to live. He doesn't want to be on a super strict diet. Quality of life, right? Fast forward, he's been taking it every day for a month. I didn't go to his MRI with him. They don't give you the results immediately. So my grandfather took him, told the radiologist that I kind of ordered them to take this honey stuff every day. He said, I don't know what it is, but my granddaughter is making my son take it. So he has, because they asked if he's been taking any new medications or anything has changed to his routine. For the last 30 days, the only thing that has changed in his routine is the product that we got from CBG. So the next day, my phone rings. It's the radiologist's office at John Muir, and I have them programmed in my phone because I've had a relationship with all of those people for over 3 years now. Normally they call for bad news. This time she called me and was like, what the hell have you been giving your dad? And I'm like, oh shit, excuse my French. Like, why? Your grandfather told me that you're giving him something. Your dad's results came in. I read the chart. His tumor has shrank about 70% and all activity has stopped, right? Look at my goosebumps. I had a specialist at UCSF, a neurosurgeon right across from John Muir in Walnut Creek, an oncologist, John Muir, Walnut Creek, a radiologist, John Muir, Walnut Creek. They all told me to make my dad comfortable that they will refuse to give him further treatment. My dad's 55. They told me to let him die and to make him happy. There's nowhere else to turn. There's no other experimenting that I want to do on my dad. He's tired of getting poked in his arm. He's got bruises up and down from all these treatments. It's torture. The fucking honey works. The tumors have shrank. The activity has stopped. I can't express enough. Like, I cried all morning and I called CBG and I let him know exactly what happened. This is like unheard of. This is super remarkable. I have told so many freaking people that I know that have cancer, that know people that have tumors, that this is what worked. If you don't believe, I had nothing else. I had no other option. I did what I was supposed to. I went to different people. I got referred to the best and the top specialists. Neurosurgeons study for years to work on the brain, to understand what everything is connected to everything and the effects that it has on you. These people told me that they know that this shit helped my dad. This is documented. You guys stay tuned, because as soon as I can get these records that show the before of the tumor growing and the after with it shrinking, he's gonna post it. If you don't believe, you don't have to believe me, but you can look at it. John Muir is a top-rated hospital in Walnut Creek. You can look at the results for yourself. These are the best machines in Northern California, and you'll be able to see. And I can testify that the only thing that changed in my dad's diet is what CBG gave us. Period. That's it. And if you guys have any questions, anything, you can at me, you can inbox me. I won't ignore you. He's the truth. It's the truth. The product is real. And they're not going to tell you about it. Nobody's going to sit out there and say, do some natural shit to help your body and heal your body. They want to pump drugs into you. They want to experiment on you. My dad's a 55-year-old black man, and I felt like they thought that he was like a young guinea pig. You're not experimenting on my dad. My dad is going to live. My dad is alive right now. My dad ain't going nowhere. And CBG is the reason, man. Straight up. It's a fluke that I came from San Jose to Lake Merritt to walk with my friend I haven't seen in 10 years and ran into him. Ran into this guy. Matter of fact, he kind of chased me down and I kind of got irritated. And how about 30 days later, that little piece of irritation was so worth it, because my dad's not finna die from a tumor growing. That's what's not gonna happen. And that's CBG. That's it.
10 minutes.